Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's so unique. Oh yeah, before we start, I'm gonna need y'all to stop what you're doing right now. Just stop. 3 things for y'all. 1, subscribe to my channel. If you gotta exit out and come back in, then do that, that's fine. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my friend's channel. Contrary to popular belief, her name is Jamie. She's amazing. I love her. And I'll put her information in the description box below. And the third thing is I want you all to speak right now over the rest of your week and declare that you're going to have an amazing week. Yes, something that I've been doing is declaring things over my life, because you can speak a lot of things just through your tongue. There's power and there's death in the tongue. So are you speaking life over your life? Or are you speaking death over your life? Whichever one. I personally choose to speak life because I don't want to declare death and bad things over my life. I don't want to put that out into the universe. So I speak positivity. All right. So basically this past week, 2 weeks, I have been thinking a lot about spiritual gifts. And with that, not mainly exactly spiritual gifts, what they are, but more so walking out in them. What I've been really convicted on is downplaying my gifts. We only really downplay when we're not sure of what we're supposed to be doing and what our gift is, or when we don't know our worth at all. And so those 2 things are very important. You need to know what your gift is and how to use it. And you can do that. You can figure that out talking to God, reading the Bible, doing all of that. But you also need to know your worth, because if you don't know your worth, you don't know how much value you have. And if you don't know how much value you have, you don't know the correct significance of yourself. And when I say speak of your worth, I'm not saying oh, I'm all this in a bag of chips. No, I haven't said that in a while. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying know your worth because of who created you and who gave you a purpose. And that's God. And God is worth. He is so wonderful. And we don't want to downplay the things that he gives us. So example, one thing I used to do is downplay my personality. I am a very bubbly, dramatic individual. And I used to not be confident in that. I used to just be oh my gosh, I'm so extra, but I needed to own that, because I didn't know how to walk in myself. I didn't know who I even was. And I didn't know my worth. I didn't know who created me. Or I said I knew, but I didn't really know that, God was hey, yo, Nika, this is you right here. I didn't know that, which made me very insecure. And I was always downplaying myself. I would always downplay oh, well, it's just me. I'm just the old Jenny from the block. Basically what I would do is I would manipulate my own self so that I could come off as what other people wanted me to come off as. So I would just keep downplaying myself to make others happy. Don't be so ashamed of your gift that you try and be somebody else. So just really accept who you are and don't downplay it. If you know how to dance, and do it to the best of your ability, because when you do things in your gift and in your talents, you're glorifying God. Especially if you're declaring that you're a Christian and you follow Christ, and you being ashamed of the gifts that he's giving you, it's kind of like you give somebody, your close friend or a family member, a gift for Christmas or for their birthday party. Let's just say for their birthday. And they're oh my gosh, I love it so much. And then 3 months later, you go into their room and you see it, you see the gift still wrapped in a box over yonder. That's disrespectful. And that's what we're doing to God when we just say, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be an evangelist? Wow. But don't evangelize, and you keep that gift tucked in the corner in the closet. I know that I've been dabbling a lot into what my spiritual gifts are, and I was ashamed. I was really ashamed of it at first, because I didn't think it was as flashy as it should have been. So my gifts, for instance, it's mercy, exhortation, or the gift of encouragement, and service and helps. And I was like, oh wow, this is great. Yeah, this is cool. I feel good. I finally know myself. But then I was thinking, I was like, oh, but I'm not like, I don't have the spiritual gift of prophecy or like administration or and so I started to be a little ashamed because I was just like, well, dang, like I thought I had a little bit more going on. But then I had to think, I had to correct myself. I was like, how dare I sit here and criticize the gift that God gave me? And actually realizing, like actually researching on my gift and realizing mercy and encouragement, all of that service helps, is actually very detrimental to the community. And so me sitting here being like, oh, it's not what I want, God, is like, that's real disrespectful. So yeah, just appreciating that and just really walking in that is important. If you really want to reap all of the fruits and benefits and just really like just being so involved with God, then be obedient, because if not, you're gonna miss out on so much. And it's been placed on my heart just like really heavy, is that I feel like a lot of us are living and walking through our lives playing ourselves, downplaying ourselves, because we're a Christian. Because you don't see it. Let's take a performer, somebody who's a really good performer that's not a Christian. They go all out. They go all out in their gifts, 9 times out of 10. But we as Christians who are supposed to shine the light of Christ, we aren't really doing as much. We're kind of just sitting back, taking a back seat, which I know that's some people's personality is more backstage than front stage, which is fine. I'm not condemning that at all. But when it's time for us to do what we have to do as far as our gifts and being obedient to Christ, we don't jump up and do it. We're not like, ooh, pick me. We're more so like the student in the class who didn't do their homework and like wants to look around so that they don't get called. But God is calling us, and we have to really go after it. And if we don't, there's other people that will, but you don't want to miss out on that wonderful opportunity. So my charge to you for the rest of the week, and for the rest of your life, but specifically for this week coming up, is to really be on fire and extra obedient, and to also really, whatever your gift is, if you already know your gifts, that's great. I want you to walk out in those gifts. So if it's evangelize. If it's prophesy. If you don't know what your gift is, I need you to pray and to ask God what your gifts are so that you can begin to be obedient to Him in that. And to just, even if you don't know what your gift is, try. So one day, try evangelizing. The next day, try being merciful. Try encouraging someone. Try offering your hand to someone. That way, you're not just sitting and waiting like, oh God, oh, He didn't give me an answer yet. I guess I can't do anything. Because you can always do something. And we're always called, for instance, to evangelize. Even though that may not be our personal gifts, at least we're all called as Christians to do that. You're getting a feel for what it is, and you're offering your hands to God and just saying, okay, God, look, I'm being available to you. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to evangelize? Okay, perfect. I'll do that. And just really being obedient and not sitting there in the classroom, like looking away from the teacher, like, oh, don't pick me, but being the first one. Send me, I'll go. So yeah, that's all I had for you all today. Have a fantabulous week. Declare things, declare positive things, speaking life over your life. Declare that right now. I am going to have a great rest of the week. I'm going to do great on this test. And watch what you're saying with your tongue, because just like you can speak death over your life, you can speak that over someone else's life. Instead of speaking negatively about them, speak positively. So even though you're in traffic, okay, well, God, they don't know what they're doing, but I pray that they get where they're going safely instead of fussing them out. Thank you for supporting me and for watching my videos. Oh, I would love to see what your gifts are. Comment below what your gifts are and how you plan to fulfill those throughout the week. Love you guys. Bye.